Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You are here for another episode of Business, Love, and the Tidbits. So, my name is Ingrid, and I am an executive administrator and I have a passion for retail, hence CMR collection and RMC exclusives. I help small businesses with their back doors and compliance as they are starting their business. Miss Carrie is on quick. Good morning, girl. Uh, go ahead. Well, I was pointing at Carrie. I can't see my
Look, what are y'all? Good morning,
I was,
everybody.
actually, I was pointing. I knew that this finger was pointing at Carrie, but y'all can't see my chat. Y'all don't know what the heck I'm pointing at. I'm pointing at the air. But go ahead, sis. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. I'm Dominique. For those who don't know me, I am the director of Sisters Inspiring Sisters. I come with a very personal testimonial perspective, as well as a psychological self-development, mindfulness, and business perspective as well. We work well together. We are here to just share our life experiences, our successes, the things that went well, doesn't go well, and to provide information to help all of you move to the next level in life and business. So let's get it started. Today we are talking about having a victim mindset or a victim way of being. Are you a victim? Do you play victim? In Ingrid, what does that mean to you? What is a victim?
Um. So, are you there? Well, this is the thing: is that there actually are no victims. There's only volunteers. So, if you are playing the victim, and what we're talking about is a mindset, we understand that things happen in life, and that when those things happen, you can be a victim to that circumstance. Um, some of those things that have happened to me, which of course I'm going to be transparent for those who do not know. I've had a lot of a lot of sexual assault and that has happened to me in life. Um, and those things that happened at that time, I was a victim. I was victimized during that time, but I didn't that was a situation that happened and you of course progress and you have to go through the necessary things during that time when that happens. But as you can tell from me sitting here, I don't use that to say that I can't move forward in my life. So there's a difference between being victimized and having that victimization mindset. So what I mean when I'm saying that, I'm not a volunteer because to stay there in that mindset, you volunteer to do that. You don't have to do that. So you volunteer. So if I was to always talk about it and always say I can't do stuff, I can't do this because that happened in my life. I can't do this because of that. I'm this stops me from doing that because I just can't. Well, you're volunteering to be a victim. You're volunteering to keep that mindset of being held captive by something that happened that 9 times out of 10 you had no control over at that moment. But what you do have control over, you have control over how you come out of that mentally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just by practicing mindfulness on a daily situational by situation basis, we have a choice for every moment in our lives to choose how we want to respond to stimuli, to situations, to circumstances that are occurring. And like Ingrid
Mhm,
said, there a lot of things are misfortunate. A lot of things are
mhm,
tragic. A lot of
mhm,
things are out of our control, things that we never thought we would ever experience in our personal lives or for other people's lives.
mhm,
But it is how we navigate through those things that define who we become. when we talk about, are you a victim or do you have a victim mindset? Ingrid said, is how are you processing those things that have happened or are happening to you?
Mhm.
And a lot of times when we talk about victim mindset, for people to be clear, it's a pleasure that we seek, so either
Mhm.
subconsciously or consciously, for people to feel sorry for us, to use our
Mhm.
story as a thrill, or as
Mhm.
to get something out of other people, to get a
Mhm.
reaction, for people to feel sorry for us. There's a number of reasons why we fall into that mindset of what people call victim. And
Mhm.
I see people, I'm in my regular life, and in my career and in my personal life, use things that have happened to them so often, right? So you're living
Mhm.
in it for years. I know someone who had cancer 20 years ago, and this person always says, it's because I had cancer 20 years ago that I'm sick, or that I can't do this, or because I'm weak, or because of these things are happening. And
Mhm.
yes, the cancer does do something to your physical being, but it
Mhm.
doesn't define you 20 years later. It's your mindset that is keeping you in that state of being. If that
Mhm.
if that makes sense, right? And so I misunderstood what Ingrid was saying when she was asking about saying that you're a volunteer, but I get that analogy. Mindset. You
Mhm.
are who you say you are. So if you're a
Mhm.
victim of sexual abuse, you're going to stay a victim of sexual abuse because you're choosing to stay in that narrative.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
to finalize my thought is um, if it keeps recurring in your mind and it keeps
Mhm.
replaying, and you tell yourself, I don't know what to do, it's just controlling me, and it's ruining my life. No, 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 no,
Mhm.
no, no, no.
Right.
That stops here. That stops.
Mhm.
Guess what? You're ruining your life at this point.
Mhm. Mhm.
At this point, you have to take the accountability that how you're choosing to live and how you're choosing to allow that to control your being. that,
Mhm.
that now that lies on you. That's no longer the perpetrator.
Mhm. Right. Exactly. I want to say that I want to address Carrie's comment. We have to stop making excuses. Um, Excuses, I guess it could be considered an excuse. I don't consider certain things an excuse. Like I said, victimization is very real. It's very real. So I don't an excuse to me is you made up something, and you're using something to get out of something. Um, I don't consider having a victim mindset. I consider a victim mindset being the volunteer to a victim mindset, saying that something has happened to me, and now you're using that circumstance, that situation to, like my sister was saying, to gain sympathy. You may not be getting out of something, but you want people to feel sorry for you. So in essence, for me, I would say making excuses, I would say you're trying to manipulate. Because if you're saying consistently over and over again that, oh, look at me, you got to feel sorry for me because this happened to me. What is it you're trying to gain out of that? Why are you saying that over and over and over again to outwardly or even inwardly? You're trying to manipulate yourself. You may not even be trying to do it, but you're trying to manipulate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why are you going to place your own self in a state of why are you going to volunteer to hurt yourself?
Well,
That's not loving you,
right.
right? Don't volunteer to hurt you.
That's at the end of the day, that's really what you're doing. Is that you're
Yeah.
reliving these experiences over and over again to yourself.
Mhm.
And as
Mhm.
you explain them to the world, you're also allowing other people to relive them with you. I
Right.
don't relive everyone's. circumstances. I want to support you through them. So when you bring those things up to yourselves over and over again, I'm under the impression that you haven't went through your healing process
Mhm.
or your overcoming process or your being to become the next level of your life. You haven't gotten there yet. You're still stuck in that situation. You're still stuck in that stage, and it's okay to be there, but at some point I need you to acknowledge that you're there so you can walk out of that. Right? We want you to
Mhm.
walk through that because it's such a beautiful experience on the other side when you're not living in those dead spots anymore. I have a million dead spots. I mean, I could be a whole different person than I am today if I chose to walk in my hurt, in my pain. I'm living in some stuff right now, but I'm choosing
Mhm.
to not allow that to define Dom. Those are just things that
Mhm.
are happening. There's situations that
Mhm.
are out of my control. There are things
Mhm.
that I never expected to happen. And I will one day put it all in one story and explain the year 2022 and how I showed up, how I
Mhm.
showed up in those circumstances. Yes, I could be a victim right now. I could every show I could be like, listen, this is and have you guys be like, oh, Dom, I'm so sorry that happened. No,
Right.
I don't want that. I don't
Mhm.
want that for my life. So I'm choosing to not live in it. Like me and Ingrid talk, she knows what I'm going through. So I have my moments like, dang, sis, but I don't want to be a
Mhm.
volunteer of my circumstance, a volunteer to be a victim, as Ingrid
Mhm.
said. I want to be Dom. I want to become my authentic self. And those
Mhm.
situations are not my authentic self. They're just situations.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Angie, your comment, you're so opposite. I don't want attention. I need solutions. Absolutely. And let me tell you, as far as needing solutions, I hear you. Every instance that has happened in my life where I have been victimized, yes, I want a solution. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share a little bit of something with you guys that my sister already knows. We talked about this. So, years ago, my daughter now is third in her, she's 30, 32. So 30 years ago, actually. Um, I was married, and my we were a victim of a gentleman coming into our home that that robbed us, and he raped me. And so imagine that, someone coming into your home to do that. So of course, after a couple of years, because they had to find this person, they caught him, and he's been in jail this whole time. So yes, you need a solution. You follow the process, correct? You follow the process. But this is the thing. So now I received, not too long ago, I received a notification that said that he is eligible for parole after 28 years. He's eligible for parole. So now I have a decision to make. Am I going to stay there? Because this person is went through everything they needed to go through, programs, da da da, everything. So am I going to stay there and say, oh, because that happened, this is da da da, I can't move forward. I'm I'm paralyzed now because this is happening. I had a decision to make during that moment. And if you want to know more about that, I will share that with you, and I'll let you guys know when and what decision that I made and why and how. But I hear you, Angie, regarding I need solutions. You do. When things happen and you're a survivor, you do want answers. There's a process. We're not saying don't go through the process. We're not saying that. I went through the whole process. I sat in that courtroom and had to relive every single moment of what happened to myself and to my daughter. I mean, it was horrific. And at the time, my husband, my ex-husband, well, my husband at the time, but you understand what I mean with regards to that. But just think about that. Look at who I am now. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have known,
Absolutely.
right? It's mindset.
Absolutely, it's all a mindset, and I mean, we so many of us have similar stories as women. Sexual assault is huge in our just in our beings. And
Mhm.
when I stand in a room and I ask people to close their eyes and raise their hand and ask if they've ever been sexually assaulted in some type of way, it's over 50, 60, 70%, sometimes 80 and
Mhm.
90%
Mhm.
space that we're in. And so it's absolutely real. We value the feelings, the emotions, the pain, what's been taken from us. So all those things happen, and there's results. There's things that happen as a result of those things. So we're not saying
Mhm.
those things that don't exist, right?
Right.
Because I was sexually molested for 10 years, I spent the next 15, 20 years after that, being, not confident, allowing people to do things to me. There's things that happen as a
Mhm.
result of situations. But when I
Mhm.
decided that I no longer wanted to reside there is when I had to take accountability. Like, okay, that happened when I was 10 years old. How long am
Mhm.
I allowed what happened when I was 10 to 4 to 14 years old define
Mhm.
my womanhood, define
Right.
me as a person? I can't
Right.
keep living in that because I'm making bad choices.
Exactly.
I'm doing things that are against what I believe because I'm
Exactly.
somebody else to live through me, right?
Right.
And that's a
Exactly.
terrible way of being.
Right.
Those things are true, right? I
Yep.
lived it. We lived it. And so we
Yep.
can talk about what it looks like to walk through it,
Mhm.
happen to us, live the bad
Mhm.
decision making as a result of
Mhm.
live
Mhm.
what who we became, untrustworthy, making bad decisions with
Yep.
men. All
Yep.
these things happen.
All
So
of them. Yep.
we're not acting like those things don't happen.
Right.
We have a choice now,
Mhm.
today. Today is a new moment in time. You can decide
Mhm.
right now that this is the last moment that I'm choosing to allow my victim mindset, the thing that had happened to me, to be.
Control my brain.
Yes, to
Control my being.
control.
Control my future.
It
Yep.
subconsciously takes over if you allow it to.
Mhm.
No
Yes.
more.
Nope.
No more. Today is the
Mm-mm.
last day. So real quick, Angie, when you say I want solutions, yes, wanting solutions is not reliving your experience over and over again and and telling your story in a victim mode, like this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. That's not wanting
Mhm.
solution. Wanting solutions is going through the proper steps to achieve the results that you want. Wanting solutions for some people is getting therapy.
Mhm.
Some solutions people study mindfulness. Some people go to most people many people go to God first. That is their savior. That is their healing. That is
Mhm.
their source. That's
Mhm.
mine. And so finding
Mhm.
solutions for me is finding ways that help navigate that situation. So I don't always have to say, oh well, because I was molested, or dang, I had a hysterectomy 2 years ago, so I don't have any energy. I'm fat
Mhm.
now. I can't do this. I can't do that. That's the
Mhm.
victim mindset. No, having a
Right.
hysterectomy 2 years ago, saying now I'm limited in what I'm able to do. I don't have as
Mhm.
much energy, so now I got to do this. I got to do this to
Mhm.
have more energy. I need to work out
Mhm.
harder because my regimen wasn't working anymore. So those are solutions. What am I going to do differently to
Right.
obtain the results that I want to live?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Angie, I want to talk directly to you because I love you, sis. And I hear you. I hear you. I hear you speaking volumes. And when I say volumes, I mean volumes. Okay? So let me tell you in the place that let me tell you how I hear you. Okay? I'm going to tell you how I hear you. And I'm going to run through it quickly. So I really, really want you to listen because I don't speak from a place that I don't know. Everything that you are writing down, I share with you. I see you, sis. Let me tell you why. At 9 years old, I was molested. At 9 years old, I was molested numerous for over and over. At 15 years old, I was kidnapped, held hostage for 3 days, and raped over and over and over again. Okay. In my 20s was when my husband and myself, when we were robbed and I was raped at gunpoint, right? Molestation. I still know who that person is. They're still in my life. When I was raped, never caught anybody. There was never any justice in that. Okay. You can also be sexually assaulted and raped by someone that you love. And I was done that as well. Okay. I was also physically abused. I was beat up by a few people. Okay. So when I tell you that I sat down one time in the when I was giving my when they caught this guy, and I saw I was sitting in the police station, and I was having to give my statement, and I picked up a pamphlet that talked about sexual assault, and I opened that pamphlet up, and I said, "Oh my God, everything that's in here has happened to me." It hit me like a ton of bricks. But you know what? I decided, am I going to let that hold me hostage, or am I going to move past that? Now, let me say this. I always said I was a survivor. I never said I was a victim. Even before I knew about mental, da da da, any of that. And I made a decision that I was going to stand up and not allow the things that happened in my life change the trajectory of where I was going to go and the destination that I was going to take and how I was going to get there and show up in my life. And that those were things that happened to me, but that they weren't me. Now, the caveat to that, did I make bad decisions when it came to relationships and love and what it looked like and intimacy and all of that? Yeah, damn Skippy, I did, because you still have things that you have to work through. Now I'm in a better place, of course, because I'm mature, I'm seasoned, I've gotten counseling, I've done all of those things, and now I'm in leadership and got that dross out. So I know where those thoughts and those things come from. So I don't have to be there. I don't have to be a volunteer to the results of being victimized. I don't have to volunteer to stay there. All of us have had things that have happened in our life. A lot of us have had trauma. Do I look like, let me just be real with you guys. You tell me, do I look like any of those things that I've told you? If I didn't tell you that those things happened to me, would you know? Would you know? So that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. Are you a volunteer to being a victim in your mind? I I really love me. And I now am showing up, not with a mask on saying it's all good. I'm really showing up and saying, no, it really is good.
It's all good. I love that, Ingrid. I love that so much. When you say it's all good, that means you're taking ownership of you, right? You're taking account
Right.
for you. It's all good. What happened to me, and me and Ingrid share very similar stories. Angie, we share a similar story. Carrie, we share a similar story.
Hmm.
But what happened to me has nothing to do with what those people have done. Those are
Yeah.
two separate people. They have to live their own trauma, and they have to go through their own healing if they ever do. God bless all of them, that they
Yes.
find healing, their own love, and,
In
and
their own
their
way.
own everything, their own way. So that's my stance on the perpetrators.
Yes.
I there has to be a way out. I mean, Shatea said this is like reliving it is like a second death. You're
Yes.
walking. A lot of people are walking dead. They're walking
Hmm.
in all that trauma and all that pain. And you know what? It doesn't always come out. It comes out in different ways. It comes out in your body. Are you sick all the time? Are you
Okay.
overweight? Are you a hoarder?
Yes.
I mean, it just comes out in so
Yes.
different ways that you
Hmm.
might not identify that the things that have happened to you and that mindset that you're living in is
Hmm.
controlling your life. And
Yes.
and like
Yes.
you said, and that a lot of trauma work is needed. Some need therapy, some need God, some need
Hmm.
something, right? Everyone needs something. Everyone can't heal on their own. So go
Hmm.
find somebody. Go so that you connect with that can help walk you through this, that can talk you through this, that can help heal you through this.
Hmm.
I am a stand for going to work on you, whatever that looks like. I don't pinpoint methods because everyone has a different method. But therapy, start there if you don't know what to do. I mean, I say there's some steps. Forgive yourself.
Hmm.
Yourself for living in it all these years. Forgive yourself for the decisions that you made through
Yeah.
all these years. Forgive yourself for the person you became, that you are today, because of the situations that were out of your control. You
Yeah.
know, you have to forgive yourself. And then after you forgive yourself, you have to forgive the other person. You have to forgive the other person. Does that mean that you want to be friends with them, that you have to have a relationship with them? Absolutely not. But for
Mm.
your inner soul and your inner healing, you have to forgive that other person, because
And
you
every
carry that with you.
right. And everything takes time. Everything take give yourself the time. Give yourself the time to forgive. Give yourself the time to heal so that you can truly forgive. Because a lot of times we can say, "Oh yeah, I forgive them, da da da." But if you're still carrying it around, are you really forgiving?
Right?
Have you forgiven
Now,
yourself? You
let
know,
me.
it's a release. Like I agree with you, Shante. It's a release for you. It releases you.
Yeah.
It releases you. But everyone will do that in their own time. We're not saying you have a time frame on it. We're not advocating, you got to do it by this and you can't do this. We're not saying that. What we're saying is don't close yourself to that process as well. Don't stay in a particular mindset where you close off that forgiveness in for all parties is an option,
It,
is a process that you will go through, and don't close yourself off
let me.
to that.
And Tay might be able,
It's
as a
a choice.
therapist.
It's a choice.
It is. Let me tell you about forgiveness, and Tay might be able to give you more insight about this. But you can go through all the steps of healing, all the things that the therapists give you, and all the coping skills and tips and everything. But if you miss that forgiveness piece, it will
Mhm.
carry with you for the rest of your life, and it will
Mhm.
play out in every relationship that you ever have. And I'm not talking about just intimate sexual relationships. I'm talking about your friendships, at work, in
Excuse me.
business relationships, because something will
Mhm.
come up again, and it will trigger you, and it will
Mhm.
remind you of that situation, and you will react because you haven't went through that healing piece of forgiveness. And if you can't forgive the things that hurt you, deeply hurt you, you won't be able to forgive in other areas of your life, where sometimes things are minor and you don't forgive because you don't know how to. And
Right.
it's such a serious imperative piece. I've let go of friendships because I didn't know how to forgive. So I just threw the whole friendship away. Like, oh well, I don't care. Oh well, that's how they feel. I mean, that's
Mhm.
what I carried with me before I understood how imperative forgiveness is. So you have to forgive those areas in your life of the people that hurt you, to move on to the next level of season.
Yes. 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 I love what Shatea said. She said triggers can show up at any time, and there's always casualties of war.
Absolutely.
And I can absolutely say that there are I've been married, you guys, and had several relationships. And some of those relationships that I had were casualties of unforgiveness. They were casualties. They didn't ask, they were trying to love on me and trying to be the best that they could with where they were, with who they were. And I, because I was where I was in my life with things going on in my mind, and then just and having some dross and some unforgiveness in some areas, they became my casualty. They became my casualty because when that thing that looks like when that thing that person or that situation does, that brings up that emotion that feels familiar, that was negative, that negative emotion that feels familiar, you react. You don't think about it, you react because you remember that and you know how it made you feel. And you don't want to feel that way again. That person had nothing to do with that. They don't even know. But you start to react, you start to do things which makes them become a casualty because now they're like, okay, what happened? How did that happen? But sometimes it's too late because you've already damaged that relationship. You've already damaged that connection. You've already lost that job. You've already so let's be done with you've already's.
Right.
Let's be done with the you've already and make the choice to say, I'm going this way and not that way. Remember, we said victimization again is a volunteer thing. You don't have to be there. You have a choice. And one of your choices is healing. One of your choices is success in mindset. One of your choices, okay? One of your options to be able to go to.
We, I
It's
agree.
completeness and wholeness.
We
Go
went
ahead.
a little long today because this topic is very important. We can even go longer because it's just such an important part of your journey. And we're not even talking about huge amounts of trauma. This is anything in your life where you're
Oh,
where you're
yeah.
of your own self. You are your own
Mhm.
victim. And
Right.
how this ties in to business is like I just said, it follows you everywhere you go, and it
Mhm.
impacts all the decisions that you have made. I want to
Mhm.
I want to respond to Carrie real quick before we log off, and we're going to be done here in the next couple minutes. Is that Carrie? If you continue to hold that stuff in, you will continue to be your own victim. And if you don't start talking to people, you will stay stagnant, status quo.
Mhm.
You will remain the same. You will not
Mhm.
you will not become the person that you want to be if you continue to hold that to you. And so I'm going to challenge you is to take action. Whatever that action looks like for you, I challenge you to take action. And it could start with something small, a very small goal that is different than what you did today, that will take you to the next, start the beginning of your healing journey, start the beginning of taking you to become who you want to become. Take action and then manage yourself. We have to learn how to manage our moods when we're understanding that these things are happening. So Carrie and
Mhm.
everyone else that are watching today, we challenge you to take action and not be the victim of yourself no longer. Today is the last day, no more. Um, you can take us out.
With that, I want to thank, I know that this was a heavy topic today, guys, and that you did not have to hang with us this morning for this 30 minutes to start your day off. But we appreciate you. We are humbled by the fact that you find value in what we say and our thoughts, our views, our opinions. We are humbled by that. And we want to thank you so much for sharing this time with us. Business Love and Tidbits is is for you. And we are here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time because we're in Cali. We thank you so much. Please join us on Friday when we are back to let's to our chit chat Friday. Come back, join us. Let's laugh and giggle. If you have not, we say please go join, jump in with us. We put that link up there so you can click the link, come in with us, and do your comment live. We want to hear from you. You'll actually sit on this platform with us. So you'll be a box, just like we're a box. So we want you to come and join
I
us.
want to circle. No.
Yeah, yeah, we'll be a box, a circle, however. But come join us. Click that link. We will see you. You'll be on here live. We want to thank you again. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, Hey Sis, CMR Collection, RMC Exclusive. Thank you so much. If you have not checked those entities out, we support them fully. And you know why, if you know us. So please go check them out on Facebook. Join, shop, anything that you would like to do. And we will, until we see you on Friday, be blessed, stay prosperous, and have an awesome and amazing day. Bye.